So the entire US economy growth can be tracked down to 7 companies and their AI.
The United States is about to break and nobody is willing to talk about it.
I got a letter recently that my property taxes are going to go up $600 a year from now on.
The cost of living crisis in America is real, and I completely understand why so many people feel inclined.
Hey, U.S. government here. So here's the situation. So our population is dipping below the replacement level, and as the U.S. government, we can't have that. So your responsibility now is to have children for us.
We can't afford to move out of their childhood bedrooms. And this is not theoretical. This is now the Wall Street Journal reporting on this. And it's being echoed in my comments like this one. I love being 26 years old, having a full-time job and a master's degree.
What's not clocking to me is how are we going to have all these resources for people? But, if you make too much, you can't have help.
Many of us here in the U.S. are waking up this morning to our investments and stocks plummeting.
How are people affording life right now? How are people tackling this cost of living on the average American salary?
America feels worse for millions of people.
2 months, it's going to become completely unaffordable to live in the United States. And I'm not talking about luxury lifestyle. I'm talking about basic middle-class needs.
Just on here, wondering if anybody's feeling the same way I'm feeling. I'm from Illinois, and I feel like the gas prices and the electric bills and the prices of food is just so overwhelming anymore. Like, I'm wondering if anybody else is feeling like they're drowning and they can't get out. I work overtime and I cannot get above water. I mean, I literally have no gas for next week. It was either that or get a few groceries to get by. I hit my local food pantries. I'm just wondering if anybody else feels like they're drowning. But anyway, I hope everybody has a great day.
What's not clocking to me is how are we going to have all these resources for people? But, if you make too much, you can't have help. I work 3 fucking jobs just to live. And I can't get help with insurance. And now I'm starting to get medical debt. And it's affecting my credit score. And I've been working so hard to keep all my things. I pay everything on time. I pay more than I'm supposed to. I do everything fucking right. And I get nothing. I get another bill after another bill. I get no help with my health. Nothing. Like, I don't qualify for any of this shit because I make too much money. But I have to make that much money and more. I need more. And I can't. None of this makes fucking sense. None of it. And I'm so fucking over all of it. It's not fair.
I got a letter recently that my property taxes are going to go up $600 a year from now on. I got a letter that my homeowner's insurance is going up $60 a month. My propane company sent me a letter that my propane is going to double this year. They just came and filled up my tank. It was $1,000. That's crazy. Also, as a entrepreneur and business owner, I get my health insurance through the marketplace. So you have the Affordable Care Act. I pay $45 a month. They just informed me that if this bill passes and I lose my tax credit, I'm going to go from $45 a month to $660 a month for health insurance. I need to buy a new car and I can't, because the cars have gotten more expensive and the interest rates have gotten so much more expensive. I can't find a reliable car that has the same monthly payment of $450 a month that I've been paying now for a new car. Not necessarily new, but new to me. Groceries are insane, and it feels like every day I get a new email from another subscription that I have, whether it's Netflix, my website subscription. Everything's increasing in price. And I sit pretty much every day stressed about money, and yet I know that there are so many people in this country that are way worse off than me, and they're not making it, y'all. They're not making it. What hurts me the most is that there are so many women especially that just cannot afford to leave abusive homes, and they have to stay in it because of this economy. So are we great again, America? Like, is this what you voted for? Meanwhile, they all sit there in DC not feeling any of these pressures, not doing anything about it, not giving a shit about the American people. I have been extremely poor and I have been extremely wealthy. And I know from firsthand experience that the wealthy people don't notice it. And most people are pretty self-absorbed and aren't thinking about other people anyway. So we got to talk about this more. We got to raise hell. We have to let DC know that this is not acceptable. Regardless of your party, we have got to help each other.
We are diving into the realities of life around the US here. Today, we're exploring how the cost of living is impacting us all, especially in the US.
The cost of living crisis in America is real, and I completely understand why so many people feel inclined to create video content on a platform like TikTok, expressing their disdain for it. Everyone is hurting. Even if you're a high income earner, you're not alone. And it really is no wonder, just given how prices have gone up on just about everything from food to gas in this country. The average cost of a home is $420,000. Most people don't have the ability to afford that, especially with crippling debt, like in the form of student loans, and a myriad of different bills that people just can't seem to get out from underneath of. So it begs the question, what do we do? Where do we go from here? We can't even buy cheap food at McDonald's for $1 anymore. They completely nixed the dollar menu. And what dystopian future are we living in which we have to pay more than $1 for fake food at McDonald's that doesn't even taste any good? So it begs the question, what do we do? And I just can't help but feel like there really is no easy solution. Unfortunately, there are external factors constricting the economy that are out of our control. But what we can do, what we should feel inclined to do, is come together now more than ever before. Reason being is because if we're going to survive, if we're going to ensure our quality of life, we need each other now more than ever. We need some sense of solidarity, and that's something that's been lacking in this country for what seems like the longest time, just given the stark racial, cultural, and socioeconomic divides. And that could be attributed as a result of us having existed in this system that seeks to pit us against each other as competitors, as opposed to being counterparts. We don't even see each other as fellow countrymen and women anymore. And I think it's a real shame, because nowadays you're going to need people and they're going to need you. So it's up to us. Either we stand united or fall divided.
So the entire US economy growth can be tracked down to 7 companies and their AI growth specifically. At least 40% of economic growth this year is attributed to these companies alone, and 80% of stock gains this year came from AI companies. But people are justifying these levels of investment because of the promises that the CEOs make that there will be a return on that investment. So for a company like OpenAI, their value is based on the expectation that they're going to figure out how to make a profit out of it. And they haven't. And so generating this increased human dependency that can be mined, because it's not subject to HIPAA. Is that correct, Dr. King?
Right, it's not subject to HIPAA.
It's not subject to HIPAA. So people's deepest fears, secrets, emotional content, relationships can all be mined for this empty promise that we're getting from these companies to turn a profit. And the reason I bring all of this up is because the exposure of this industry and this investment, I fear, has reached broad levels, potentially, of the American economy. When we're talking about 40% of stock growth in the United States being attributed to these companies in the AI sector alone, and that sector has not turned a profit, we're talking about a massive economic bubble. And when we've seen, depending on the exposure of that bubble, we could see 2008-style threats to economic stability. And that pressure is reflected on the extreme lengths that these companies are going to allow unethical human interactions with these chatbots. I say this because I want to say also on the record that should this bubble pop, and I say this for my colleagues here, should this bubble pop, My colleague from Massachusetts mentioned the level of AI lobbying that occurs here in Congress. Should this bubble pop, we should not be entertaining a bailout. We should not entertain a bailout of these corporations as healthcare is being denied to everyday Americans, as SNAP and food assistance is being denied to everyday Americans, precipitating some of the very mental crises that people are turning to AI chatbots to try to resolve in themselves.
Okay, I'm making this video again because my first one was taken down for violations. I have no idea why. So we have another leading economist joining the growing chorus of leading economists that are screaming, like literally, that the United States is heading towards a major debt crisis. And he, along with others, is predicting this is going to happen in 2026. And he's talking about all the red flags that everybody is ignoring, way beyond increased prices and joblessness and no new job growth and so forth. He says it's all tied to the record-breaking price of gold right now. It's like at $4,000 an ounce. That central banks right now are accumulating so much gold because central banks are worried about two things: the value of the US dollar plummeting, they can see it happening, as well as the geopolitical tensions that are growing all since Donald Trump took office. And for some reason, central banks accumulate gold to hedge their bets because of what they see is happening. He says that Wall Street is behaving the same way they did before the 2008 subprime mortgage collapse, when so many Americans lost so much. Some lost everything. Back in 2008, Wall Street and those who owned stocks were exuberant. They were celebrating how many millionaires. They were all becoming millionaires with the manipulated stock markets. And it's happening again now. And back then they ignored all the red flags and did not adjust accordingly. And he sees that happening right now the same. He said that this economic collapse that he and others are predicting is going to feel, the 2008 subprime mortgage collapse is going to feel like Sunday school compared to what's going to happen next. Now, I know a lot of things are looking bad. Prices are skyrocketing. Over 1 million people have lost their jobs since Trump took office. There's no real new job growth and so forth. But I really hope him taking a look at the price of gold and how much central banks are accumulating is just something he's just worried about, but that it doesn't actually happen. I mean, let's hope this doesn't happen. So there you go.
All right, I am here in my little town of about 2,000 people here in Alaska. We're going to go into a quick convenience store, and you guys can tell me if you think the prices are expensive or not here. So let's take a look.
As we look at these rising costs, it's clear that everyday life in the US is becoming more of a struggle. It's not just about prices going up, but how it impacts everyone's quality of life.
Today I'm going to show you how expensive drugstore products are in the US. Let's go. Toothpaste for $6.29. Deodorant $10.79. By the way, I'm trying to find the cheapest option from each product. The shower gel is $6.59. And if you want the $10 shower gel, you have to ask somebody to open it up for you. Hairspray for $7.99. This is the cheapest shampoo I could find for $4.99. Period pads for $8.29, but if you buy one, you can get one for 50% off. 44 diapers for $35.79. Absolutely insane. In Germany, the same amount of diapers were under $5. 2 good toothbrushes for $8.49, and that's before taxes. Band-aids for $6.99. Hair dye for $11.99. Sunscreen for $15.49. Actually crazy because you need sunscreen every day here. Look at all this medicine. You don't even have to go to the pharmacy to get sleep medication. And it's not locked up. They lock out the toothpaste, but not this. Lipsticks for $6.99. Makeup remover for $7.79. Laundry detergent for $17.99. $14.99 if you have the CVS card. Cheapest dish soap is $4.19. And look at this tiny bottle. In Germany, you would get a huge bottle for $1.89. Dishwasher tablets for $16.99. 9 rolls of toilet paper for $23.99. Really cannot believe why toilet paper is so expensive.
One paper towel is $4.79.
This is absolutely insane.
That's not right.
Let me know in the comments, do you think it's cheap or expensive? One last thing, every person in front of us had so many coupons because the basic products are just so expensive and a lot of people have a hard time to afford them. And it's very sad.
Student had a meltdown over crazy rent prices.
No, because you, America, for making me pay, or for making me work 4 jobs while I'm in college in rural Tennessee and I can barely pay my own rent, and I'm taking 19 credit hours on top of those 4 jobs, and I still can't graduate on time, and I still can't graduate early, even though I'm taking 21 credit hours next semester. It's not fair. It's not fair anymore. It's never been fair, not in my lifetime. And will it ever be fair? No, because I'm a woman in America. I just want to live in peace, America. And I will one day. Probably something else.
Half of all renters in the US spend more than 30% of their income on rent. Rising rent prices are pushing record number of Americans towards the threat of homelessness. So the system definitely doesn't work and something needs to be changed.
Another reason why we should be working together. Pay attention. Get you somebody, come together, work together as one, or work together as a collective, as the group. Because this is reality. This is real. America, pay attention.
The United States is about to break and nobody is willing to talk about it. If we as a country don't make a change here, we are cooked. The media doesn't give it the attention it deserves. Politicians won't say it out loud, but our country, it's drowning in over $36 trillion in debt. And here's the terrifying part. We're now spending more than $1 trillion a year just to pay the interest. Not the debt itself, just the interest. It takes my breath away whenever I talk about it. Imagine you maxed out your credit card that you have, then took out more just to cover your monthly payments. That's what we're doing as a government and as a country. And when the bill comes due, it's you who's going to pay the price. Higher taxes, slash services, or worse, God forbid, a financial collapse that would make 2008 look like a hiccup. If we don't change course here, folks, if we don't stop printing money, overspending, and kicking this can down the road, your future, our future, won't be stable jobs and affordable homes. It'll be layoffs, rent that you can't afford, and retirement accounts that don't mean anything. Heck, some of you are saying right now, I'm already feeling the effects. They'll try to distract you with these headlines and drama, but this is the real threat we are facing, and nobody's coming to save us. I'm curious, what do you think about this in the comment section below? For more unapologetic and trustworthy news, hit that follow button. I appreciate you.
So many Americans already believe that we are in a recession. They believe that the recession started a long time ago. They believe that the economy is currently crashing, and they are not listening to what you hear on the news. They are going online and they are sharing personal stories and showing the hardships right now that they are witnessing and what they're going through.
Is it just me or are we in a global recession? I mean, this is not normal. It is 9:40 in the morning, Thursday, September 18th, and this is how our shop is looking. Now, thank God I have a few inspections to do, so I'm going to stay busy today. I have like 14 government vehicles I have to do. But you can't tell me this isn't a government recession. Like, what the hell is going on here? I mean, as you can see, we're so busy. We have so many cars in here right now. 9:30 in the morning. We should be packed. We should at least have oil changes. We should have something. And before the people start commenting that, well, you know, shop charge too much money. Our shop doesn't. We actually charge a lot less than we should to make good margins and actually make money. So we actually undercharge a whole lot at this shop, and we still don't have business. We are probably the cheapest shop in our area compared to all the other shops. Our labor is only $135. Other shops are like $150, $160, $180. Dealerships are like $200. And we do decent work. We do good work on cars. We never have complaints. We never have people come back. We never have returns. This is how our shop looks. This has got to be the beginning of the middle of a recession and probably the beginning of a depression. I've been here 6 months. I have not seen it this bad. And it's been like this for the last probably week and a half, 2 weeks. So what's gives? What's going on? Why is nobody coming in? If you guys are doing work on your own vehicles, respect. I respect that. I work on my own vehicle. You save a lot of money that way, but the people who can't afford to work on their own vehicles and have to bring it to a shop, they're not even here. I think we're cooked. Is it just me or are we in a global recession? I mean,
I don't care what anyone says, we are 1,000,000% in a recession due to the fact that Facebook Marketplace has been popping off lately. Like, people are selling their treasures that they've had in their basement or their garage because they need money.
How's everybody surviving? I get paid bi-weekly and we are a family of 4. We have 2 kids. How are y'all surviving? Because I'm not. I got paid today and it's gone. Goes toward the mortgage, cell phone bill, gas and electric, garbage, everything gone. Between insurance, car insurance between my husband and I, everything gone. And then I have to go to the grocery store. This isn't even factoring in groceries for a family of fucking 4. So imagine how it's like every month. It's like, do we go do a big load haul of groceries or do we pay our mortgage? Like I can't do both. And my husband works 50 hours a week. I work 40 hours a week. We can't do both. We can't do both. So like, how are you doing it? The people that don't have kids are barely surviving. I am not surviving. And I get paid bi-weekly. And people are like, oh, getting paid bi-weekly is so much better because then when you get paid more. No, it doesn't matter because all my bills get taken out at the same every month. I've tried to change it till the end of the month. It still doesn't matter. It doesn't matter when you have your bills taken out. Your money is gone. There's nothing you can do. You just have to ride on this floating rock and spend, $150 on 4 products at the grocery store. I can't. I literally cannot. I don't know how people do it. And unless you're a rich elite, so I hope everybody on this floating rock screams like I do, and we can all scream together because I just don't collectively know how I can continue on with a recession. I've lived through one recession. I physically can't do it now. And you can call me dramatic. I don't really give I'm going to crash out. I cannot survive like this. I can't.
So there's a pretty good financial indicator out there called the used car market. And the used car market is a good financial indicator of how your country is doing because it means that people have liquid capital. If you have liquid capital, you can buy a used car cash because most used car sales are going to be cash purchases. So if used cars are selling well, probably doing pretty good. People have liquid capital. They're able to buy whatever they want. They don't feel stressed about the future. They're buying and selling things at leisure. If the used car market is bad, then people do not have liquid capital. They do not feel secure about the future, and they're hoarding whatever liquid capital that they do have. And right now, the used car market is tanked. It's tanked. No one is buying or selling anything, especially the cash purchases. So, not a very good indicator for us as a country or our economy. Either people have no money to spend or they are incredibly insecure about their future. And either way is not good. So we're going to see how this plays out in the coming months. But I don't see that trend ending anytime soon.
Dying in America is expensive.
So I have terminal cancer, and because of financial situations, I have decided to donate my body to science. I have 3 kids. My oldest is 15, and he understands that it's a money issue, but my youngest 2 do not. And that was a hard conversation to have with them about why they won't have a grave or a funeral when I pass. But funerals cost thousands of dollars. When you donate your body to the local college here, it's like $100 transport fee that I can prepay in advance that covers the transport of my body from wherever I pass to the facility. They then use your body for medical research or surgeons learning or whatever. Then they cremate you for free and send your ashes back to a loved one. For me, that's my ex-husband, and we do not have a good co-parenting relationship, so I have to just entrust with the fact that he will give my ashes to our children. And they'll keep my body for 3 to 5 years using it before they send it to him. Is it a good thing that I'm doing to help, students learn? Yeah. But do I wish my kids would have at least a gravestone? Also, yes.
These grocery prices in rural Washington.
You can really see the strain on families when rent and groceries keep climbing. It's a wake-up call for how important affordable living really is.
I just got done listening to Ilhan Omar talk about how horrible and terrible and dirty and everything else that this country is. Denigrating this country, denigrating half of the people in it. This country has been very kind, benevolent, and gracious to her and countless others. We gave her asylum. We gave her a place to live. We gave her an education. We gave her a pathway to become a sitting United States congressman. But to me, it goes deeper than that. See, I'm an Iraq and Afghanistan veteran. I was 22 years old when those planes flew into those buildings, and me and thousands of other young men across this country answered the call to go over there and combat this evil that was on our shores, that had finally hit us. And what we were told over and over again is that we go over there and we fight them over there, we will not have to fight them here. And now here we are. We're retired. We're out. We're ready to start pursuing a life of our own. And what does this country do to that enemy that we went over there and we fought to keep over there because that's what we were told? We kissed our families goodbye. I watched my wife cry while I got on that bus to go to the airport or go to the airfield. I watched my son cry because he didn't know if or when he was going to see me again. And then I come home. I've been retired for 8 years. And I come home and what are we seeing? We're seeing entire communities being taken over by the very people that we fought to keep off of our shores. Dearborn Mission is completely freaking taken over. Now we have mosques in Minnesota, Texas, Missouri, all over the country, promoting Sharia law. Do we really have to tell people that Sharia law is incompatible with the United States Constitution? We were told that if we fought them over there, we would not have to fight them here. But what do we have? What did you do? You elected it mayor of New York. You gave it Senate seats in Minnesota. Now I want you to turn around. I want you to find an Iraq and Afghanistan veteran somewhere around you, and I want you to look them in the eye and tell them why they should not feel betrayed. Do it. I dare you.
The cost of living in America is just a scam.
And I think more and more of us are seeing that, especially on an app like this where we can see what people are paying for life outside of these borders. I think the craziest thing about these videos I make talking about grocery prices and cost of living in general in the United States is the comments I get from people who live outside of this country. People from Germany, Denmark, Sweden, you name it. Especially countries that you would typically associate with higher costs. They're letting me know that they're paying way less for so many things. The other day when I made that video about grocery prices and I had 2 bags, it was 11 items, it was like $40, I was getting comments from all over the world. And let me tell you, I didn't get a single comment from anywhere saying that they would pay more. Sometimes in European countries, these prices would be less than a quarter of what we're paying here. So my question is, what's going to happen? We are obviously going through a cost of living disaster here in the United States. Not the only place that's expensive. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that we are paying an amount of money that is not sustainable. There is more homelessness than ever. There is less financial stability than ever. There's more bankruptcies than ever. Where does this go? How does this end? Because it's not going anywhere good. In that video I mentioned, I found out they aired it on CNN, which is kind of hilarious. I had no idea until someone commented and let me know, hey, you're on my television right now. So I guess what I have to say is resonating with enough people. I also just hit 40,000 followers, so thank you. If you follow me, thank you so much. I'm glad what I say is striking a chord with you, and hopefully we can all find a way to make it through this crazy cost of living recession, whatever you want to call it. We can make it through it together. How do you think this is going to end? Because I don't know a way out of this personally, other than moving to another country.
Living in America right now honestly feels like a punishment. You wake up already behind, you go to work just to stay broke, and you watch the cost of everything rise while your paycheck hasn't moved an inch. Groceries are a luxury. Rent, straight up robbery. People are working 2-3 jobs and still have to choose between food or gas. You can't afford to get sick, you cannot afford to rest, and you can't even afford to exist. But they keep on saying the economy is strong. We are out here treading water while billionaires build rockets and corporations raise prices just because they can. And somehow they made us believe it's our fault. It's not. The math stopped adding up years ago. This isn't a country full of lazy people, it's a country full of exhausted ones.
Bro, when you pay your bills and ain't got nothing left and somebody say, well, at least everything caught up. Well, at least the bills are paid. Well, at least you got this. Walk on the being in the dope. No, motherfucker, I'm not accepting the fact that after I pay all my bills, after everything is caught off from car note, car insurance, rent, utilities, gas, electric, water, sewer, you feel me, phone bill, every fucking thing, bro, is paid and I ain't got shit left to my name. And motherfuckers want to say, well, be thankful. Thankful for what? You see what I'm saying? That I can't enjoy myself? No, I'm just as important as these motherfucking bills. Motherfuckers think just because you got your rent and everything paid that you supposed to just be happy because you ain't got nothing else to your name but all the necessities taken care of. Motherfucker, we are a necessity.
Financial markets today roiled by Donald Trump and the chaos he has unleashed on the American economy. The Dow is down more than 2%, around 900 points today, after Trump, in an interview on Fox News, refused to rule out a recession. Watch those comments.
Are you expecting a recession this year?
I hate to predict things like that. There is a period of transition because what we're doing is very big. We're bringing wealth back to America. That's a big thing. And there are always periods of, it takes a little time. It takes a little time. But I think it should be great for us. I mean, I think it should be great.
Should be great. Markets didn't think so, clearly disagreeing with that. Spooked by what Trump called there a, quote, period of transition. All major stock indices are now below the levels they were when Donald Trump was inaugurated. That may be one reason why in that Fox interview, Trump said this, quote, you can't really watch the stock market, end quote. A sudden about face from the kinds of things he said during his first term, when markets were his most favorite metric. Today's sell-off and investor concerns are focused around one thing, that Trump's policies, which often come with sudden and surprising reversals, is sending the economy into a recession. New York Times reports this, quote, President Trump inherited an economy that was, by most conventional measures, firing on all cylinders. Wages, consumer spending, Corporate profits were rising. Unemployment was low. The inflation rate, though higher than normal, was falling. Just weeks into Trump's term, the outlook is gloomier. The sudden deterioration in the outlook is striking, especially because it is almost entirely a result of Trump's policies and the resulting uncertainty. Tariffs and the inevitable retaliation from trading partners will increase prices and slow down growth. Federal jobs cuts will push up unemployment and could lead government employees and contractors to pull back on spending while they wait to learn their fate. Deportations could drive up costs for industries like construction and hospitality that depend on immigrant labor.
When we compare this to other countries, it's fascinating and concerning to see how quickly costs are rising in the U.S. It definitely puts things into perspective.
I'm about to show you $10 worth of groceries in America. Bread and eggs, $4.79 and $4.70 something or another. $10 for bread and eggs. Good job.
Many cities in America are offering money for Canadians to move there. The city of Tulsa is actually offering 13 grand for Canadians to move there. Beside the 13 grand, they also have really cheap housing. You can get this 2 beds, 2 bath for under $300K. A little old but super spacious kitchen, huge bathroom, even bigger backyard, over 8,000 square foot in lot. Sorry to bring it to you, I try to find something in the similar price range in Vancouver. It does not exist. I don't know, would you move to Tulsa?
Florida is so broke right now, people are literally financing their groceries like a car note. Florida has officially turned into the second most financially distressed state in America. Of course, only Texas beat them out. When I saw it, I thought, dang, Florida and Texas are in competition with each other to see who can treat their people the worst. See, here's the wild part. A new study found that 25% of Floridians are financing their groceries using buy now, pay later. You heard that right, loans. We finance cars, homes. Some people even do it to furniture. Now it's chicken wings, bread, and milk. Honestly, it doesn't surprise me, because when you look at Florida, a huge part of the problem is the elderly. And it's not like grandma can go get a side hustle at Amazon or the grocery store to make up for the money that she misses every month. The elderly don't have that option. It means that they're feeling the squeeze tighter than anybody else. And the squeeze is brutal. People are delaying payment, racking up late fees, filing bankruptcy, or just straight up not paying bills no more. That's not living paycheck to paycheck. That's survival on credit. And just note, it's not just a Florida story or a Texas story. When 2 of the largest states in the country are collapsing under the weight of necessities, that means it's a sign that it's happening everywhere. So if Florida is drowning while selling sunshine and palm trees, imagine what it looks like in states that don't have the tourism economy to fall back on. And quiet as kept, Florida ain't got it to fall back on no more either. So remember, America will sell you a dream, but it will make you finance the groceries just to stay alive. And if you think it's normal, then you've already accepted living in a nightmare.
I honestly have no idea what to do anymore. I'm sitting here, it's almost midnight. I've been scrolling for hours, just looking for jobs, like extra jobs. I work 2 jobs right now, and I feel like I can't even afford, what I'm trying to pay for. My rent's so expensive. I go to the grocery store today. I get bread, peanut butter, jelly, and milk, and it comes out to almost $18. $18 for sandwich ingredients without any protein and milk. My phone bill's expensive, gas is expensive, and I'm just like, man, I'm a 28-year-old. I'm out here in Oregon, and I honestly don't even know what to do. Something needs to change. Something must change very, very fast, or I honestly, I don't know if I'll be able to survive this. I've talked to many people. They're in the same boat. So I want to use this page as a place for people to come support each other and just, hopefully get through this together, because I know it's not just me. We're in this together. It's going to be okay. But we really got to ride this out together.
It's important to understand that these economic shifts don't just affect big cities, but also smaller towns and communities. The ripple effect is real.
Breaking news! Amazon is moving forward with a massive round of corporate layoffs. Starting tomorrow, as many as 30,000 employees could begin receiving notice, roughly 10% of the company's corporate workforce. In total, Amazon employs about 1.55 million people worldwide across its warehouses and operations. So while 30,000 may seem small by comparison, these are some of the company's higher-paid, white-collar staff. There's growing speculation that the layoffs may be tied to Amazon's heavy investment in artificial intelligence and data infrastructure efforts that come with a massive price tag. Others believe the cuts could be a cost-saving measure ahead of what Amazon expects to be a weaker holiday shopping season. Adding to the intrigue, Jeff Bezos has been steadily selling off portions of his stake in the company in recent months. Whether this move signals a broader corporate restructuring or something deeper behind the scenes remains to be seen.
Welcome to 1950s America. The average yearly salary was about $3,200. Life was simple and affordable. A brand new Chevrolet Bel Air cost around $1,700. Many Americans could buy a new car with just a few months' salary. A gallon of gas cost just 27 cents. You could fill up your Chevrolet for less than $3. The average home cost about $7,400. A brand new house in the suburbs was within reach for many families. A movie ticket was just 53 cents. Everyone could afford to see the latest films at the local cinema. A loaf of bread cost 14 cents. Milk was 82 cents a gallon. A full week's groceries for a family cost about $20. A hamburger cost 25 cents. A cup of coffee, just 10 cents. Eating out was affordable for everyone. Life in 1950s America was simpler and more affordable. I wonder if those days will ever return.
You're in Times Square and the street collapsed under a taxi.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Yo, that shit. Oh, that shit really. I was really about to fool. That's a major problem.
Many of us here in the US are waking up this morning to our investments and stocks plummeting. I know I made the mistake of checking my account. Trump's tariffs have had a huge impact on the economy and will continue to do so. You know, it's a bad sign when his former vice president, Mike Pence, is speaking out directly against these tariffs and warning that the average American will be losing $3,500 this year as a result of the tariffs. Do you know how many people voted for this administration without even understanding what a tariff is? But do you know who did explain it and did warn over and over? Kamala Harris. She spoke out directly against what is happening now. And yet, here we are.
What's not clocking to me is, how are we going to have all these resources for people, but if you make too much, you can't have help? I work 3 fucking jobs just to live, and I can't get help with insurance. And now I'm starting to get medical debt, and it's affecting my credit score, and I've been working so hard to keep all my things. I pay everything on time. I pay more than I'm supposed to. I do everything fucking right, and I get nothing. I get another bill after another bill. I get no help with my health. Nothing. I don't qualify for any of this shit because I make too much money. But I have to make that much money and more. I need more. And I can't. None of this makes fucking sense. None of it. And I'm so fucking over all of it. It's not fair.
How are people affording life right now? How are people tackling this cost of living on the average American salary? I just watched a TikTok of a teacher who makes a teacher's salary. I don't know what state she's in, so I don't know how much she makes, but her 1-bedroom apartment is $2,000. And when she spends $2,000 on that one-bedroom apartment, it doesn't even come with a washer and dryer. So she has to go pay an additional $2 every time she wants to use their washer and dryer. Okay, like, how does that leave her any extra money to spend? And then she said she had a $400 car payment, which some people were bashing her on that. But in today's economy with interest rates, that's really not that bad. And I'm sure she needs a dependable car. So you talk about teacher's salary, $2,000 in rent, $400 car payment. You got insurance, you got groceries, electricity. Like, I don't understand how people are affording life right now, and it really makes me sad for some people. You have people who are like her. She's single, she has her own salary, or families where it just works out best for them for the mother to stay home. And if the father is just making an average American salary, how are they affording life without going in a bunch of debt? This lady who's a teacher started crying because she said she realizes on her salary and where she lives, she will actually end up in more debt. Then, like, she will just continue to accrue more debt and more debt and more debt because her salary is not matching the cost of living. And what's sad is I've seen people be like, just spend less. Listen, guys, the cost of living is rising and our salaries are stagnant, okay? So there's not just spend less. That's not the problem here. The problem is the cost of living is outrageous, and minimum wage in some states is still $7.25. Teachers in some states are still paid a ridiculously low salary, even though their job is super important. I don't know what we can do about this, but I'm just going on a rant because it really, really pisses me off.
Ultimately, it's about finding solutions and raising awareness. We need to keep the conversation going and push for change to help everyone.
You don't have to love Trump. You don't even have to like him. The issue isn't Trump anymore. It is that the left hates him more than they love America. They would rather watch the country fall apart than admit he ever did anything right. They cheer when things go wrong, when prices rise, when chaos fills the streets, just so they can say, see, we told you, Trump was bad. That's not patriotism. That is bitterness, and it is dangerous. Because evil isn't just doing wrong. Evil is hoping your own nation collapses just to prove a political point. America doesn't fall because of one man. It falls because too many people would rather see it fail than see their opponent succeed. You don't have to love Trump. But if you hate him more than you love this country, then maybe the problem isn't him.
Life in America feels worse for millions of people in 2025 for several different reasons. First of all, daily life just feels exhausting. People are working endlessly to make ends meet, and they're not even making ends meet. Households have to have 2 incomes to be able to pay the bills. And it's not enough if you're just even making $20 an hour anymore. People that are making 6 figures are saying that they're having a hard time. Now, where you live does have a lot to do with that. If you are in the city, if you are more rural in the country, are you in a very expensive state? Are you in a cheaper state? We live in a cheaper state because of this reason. We decided to leave Texas in an area that did have a pretty affordable cost of living, but we decided to move to Oklahoma because it's even cheaper to live here because of this reason. And you have to make changes like that right now. People are needing to vote with their feet. Originally, I'm from California, and we left there years ago because of what is happening with the cost of living, amongst a lot of other things that's going on there in the state.
We are now approaching the longest shutdown in American history.
Democrats' fault.
Under your presidency, we're talking about more than 1 million federal workers who are not getting a paycheck, including our air traffic controllers. You see there's traffic snarls out at the airports now.
Sure.
This weekend, food aid for more than 42 million Americans is set to expire. What are you doing as president to end the shutdown?
All we're doing is we keep voting. I mean, the Republicans are voting almost unanimously to end it, and the Democrats keep voting against ending it. You know, they've never had this. This has happened like 18 times before. The Democrats always voted for an extension, always saying, give us an extension, we'll work it out. They've lost their way. They've become crazed lunatics. And all they have to do, Nora, is say, Let's vote.
Senate Democrats say they will vote to reopen the government if Republicans agree to extend subsidies for over 20 million Americans who use Obamacare for their health insurance.
Obamacare is terrible. It's bad health care at far too high a price. We should fix that. We should fix it. And we can fix it with the Democrats. All they have to do is let the country open and we'll fix it. They have to let the country open and I'll sit down with the Democrats and we'll fix it. But they have to let the country. And you know what they have to do? All they have to do is raise 5 hands. We don't need all of them.
But so you're saying your plan is to tell the Democrats to vote to end the shutdown.
Correct. Very simple.
And that you will put forward a health care plan?
No, we will work on fixing the bad health care that we have. Right now, we have terrible health care at too expensive for the people. Not for the government, for the people.
But, Mr. President, with all due respect, you've been talking about fixing the health care insurance plan since 2015.
And you can't do it because of the Democrats.
But since 2015, you've said you'd fix it.
I've been talking about it for a long time. We almost did it. We were 1 vote short. We would have had great health care.
That was in 2017, when Senate Republicans failed by 1 vote to partially repeal Obamacare.
We can make it much less expensive for people and give them much better health care.
But where is that plan?
And I'd be willing to work with the Democrats on it. The problem is they want to give money to prisoners, to drug dealers, to all these millions of people that were allowed to come in with an open border from Biden. And nobody can do that. Not one Republican would ever do that.
My understanding is if those health care subsidies are not extended, premiums will double for many of the people that are on it. And I was looking into it. 3/4 of these people will see their health care premiums double, live in states where you won in the last election. I mean, even here in Florida has the highest number of residents on Obamacare in the country.
And I'm saying we can fix it, Nora.
Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this insight, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more global perspectives. Drop your thoughts in the comments and let's keep the conversation going. Until next time, stay informed and stay curious.